Hi and welcome. My name's Emma Lupin and I'm going to be showing you today how to make banana flower salad as one of the workshops for Sea Breeze Festival. Now I've lived here for quite some time in Darwin in the top end for about 12 years and in the tropics for 20, and I'm passionate about tropical food and inspiring others to use it and to grow it, which is now more relevant than ever. And I think we can all be suburban or rural survivalists and looking for what we can find and cooking it into delicious things like this. So I've just looked what's in my garden and I can show you. This is actually one of my favorite dishes, using things we can find right here. I'm going to show you some little tips on how to grow and forage for the ingredients and then how to cook it. Let's go. So here we've got banana flower. When bananas fruit, they shoot out their flowers, which become the banana fruit, and then you've got the bell of the banana flower left on the end and little florets that don't become bananas underneath. Now when there's a big extension between the bananas and the flower, which happens fairly early on, and they're no longer producing bananas, then you can cut it off and actually use the banana flower and cook it and eat it. Okay, so you can see behind me the bananas and banana flowers. This is our banana flower straight from the garden, and I'm going to show you how you prepare it. So today I'm just going to make a really easy salad, and I actually got the inspiration when I was working in a kitchen garden program, and one of the mums was from Southeast Asia, from Thailand, where the banana flower is used a lot in salads. And then I've just adapted it, so I always just kind of make my own version, I guess. So this is going to be a banana flower salad with coconut, cucumber, peanuts, Thai basil from the garden. You can also use some mint, but really you can use whatever you like in it. You could put fish sauce into it if you wanted, or soy sauce, a little bit like a pawpaw salad. And you can also cook these guys. Just yesterday I actually made one into a fish curry and cooked it up with some fish that my friend caught. And I guess it's a little bit like using cabbage. So anyway, you take the outer leaves of the banana flower salad off, and these inner florets here that I was talking about that haven't made bananas, and then when you go inside it actually gets a little bit crunchier and smoother, and when you can't really peel them off easily, that's what we want. So it's like that crunchy bit of the inside. This is a lovely little small one and fresh. You have to use them just straight after you've cut them because they just don't keep, which is why you can only really find them when you go to local markets or in your own garden. Here's one just to show you that was picked a few days ago, and it's actually oxidized, so it's reacted with the oxygen, it's gone yellow, and it wouldn't be crunchy or very good to eat. If you cut them and leave them, they also brown, which is why when we're cutting this, we're going to put it straight into the water with some lemon juice, lime juice actually. So I'm going to squeeze the lime in there and put it in. You can use vinegar or anything that's acidic in the water as well. And so I'm going to start cutting and then put it straight in there. So we've peeled the outer bits off, and we're just going to cut from the cone of the banana flower down. And I'm just showing you my way. So if you have got your special way, and maybe your background's from Cambodia or you know friends, that's good too. So disclaimer, this is just the way I did it, inspired from Thailand. But here, so I'm cutting it really, really finely with a very good sharp knife. Having a good sharp knife when you're cooking is great. So you can see it's actually in its own little layers here. And it's a little bit fibrous and opens up. And then we're going to put that straight, so cut it as fine as you can. It's almost immediately it started going brown, so we're going to put those in the water, breaking it apart. And the lime juice actually also tenderizes it slightly, so it's a little bit like when you marinate things in lime juice. So as I said, you can cook this or you can use it raw, but today we're using it raw, but cooked is really lovely as well. So this is a nice small banana flower, but on some of the larger ones you might want to stop here because it has these really large parts that are a little bit bitter. But I think we can keep going just a little bit more on ours. And it gets tougher as you go down. See, now you're starting to see there's some brown dots, so we don't want those in, and we'll just take out the middle bit. So I'm not going to go too much further on mine, but it's up to you whether you go further. It just does become a little bit tougher and better as you go down. And I compost everything, and if you can and have the room, it's a great idea because then you can make your own soil eventually. So that's all for the compost. I've got chickens as well, but they don't really dig it that much. So I'm going to prepare the other ingredients now and talk you through them, but you could put whatever you would like into this dish. So I've got here a bit more lemon, some cucumber, cashews, but you can use peanuts, but I know some people are allergic to peanuts, so I've chosen cashews, a little bit of garlic, some spring onion or salad onion, and a little bit of salt, and then whatever herbs you like, but more Thai basil's got a nice fragrant flavour, or mint, or a bit of both. And because I talked about all those antioxidants, it's good to have lots of herbs in a lot of your cooking. So what we're going to do first is, with the pestle and mortar, I'm going to crush up the nuts. So I'm going to use the cashews. Now what you could do is you can actually put these in the pan and just quickly lightly roast them, and makes them a bit crunchier and releases the flavour, and then you can crush them, and they're actually really nice and creamy. So we're balancing the flavours here, so we've got crunchy and fresh from the cucumber, creamy from the nuts, we've got sweet from the coconut. Now long shredded coconut is really good to use, or even fresh coconut and toasted if you want to. I actually couldn't get hold of any, even though I have a coconut tree, so that's just it's like small, almost desiccated coconut just for the flavour. Some people even like to use coconut cream, so it's up to you. Just try different things, but I would suggest the long shredded coconut's really good. And then a little bit of garlic's always good. Not everyone loves garlic. I love garlic, and I think I put it in most things, but it's up to you. So that's the kind of spicy flavour, and then the fresh flavour here, and also some chilies. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of the ingredients now, hope you can see, in this bowl. So I'm going to put more than a pinch of salt, and then when we've marinated the banana flour, this will all go in together. So crushing the peanuts up. Sometimes it's good to put all the flavours in and crush them up like a pawpaw salad, but today I'm just going to mix them in the bowl. So a pinch of that. Now I'm going to cut the garlic. So I love using garlic, but actually it doesn't really grow here in the top end. So I get Australian garlic that's organic. You can grow garlic chives here and use those. Very, very good for you. So garlic is also an antioxidant. Okay, so I'm just using 1 clove for this recipe because we're just going to make like a side portion for a couple of people, but it's up to you. So cooking's all about balancing of flavor and tasting. Often it's about that balance of sweet, sour, savory and hot, and the textures as well. So cucumbers grow here, and I've already started growing mine in the garden, but they do only grow during the dry season. And it's a little bit harder to grow them in the wet and the build-up. You can do, but you need to shade them over and kind of regulate the humidity a little bit. So I've got here some early local cucumbers, and I'm just going to cut the peel a little bit. So we've got a little bit of peel and a little bit of the inside, because a bit much. It's just a bit hard, the texture. And then I'm actually going to grate it, but you could choose how you put this in here. You can use a mandolin or cut it yourself really finely. But this is grate it on the big one, so it's still keeping its form and it's got crunch. But this is going to add a bit of crispiness and a lot of really nice moisture to this salad. Don't grate your thumb, top tip. And I'm actually going to put 1.5 cucumbers in that. So I'm actually just going to put that in there with the nuts. It's quite watery. You could choose to squeeze it out if you want less water in your salad like this, in your hands, and then just put the cucumber in. But I quite like the moisture. So now we've got grated cucumber and the cashew in there. And we're gonna do our chili now. Where did I put it? Yeah. So you can use, I'm gonna use this little red one. I've actually got long green ones in the garden that I didn't show you. But it depends, again, how hot you want it. If you don't want it as hot, a little top tip is that you open it up and you take the seeds out. I'm just going to clear the board there, messy. Yeah, so you take out the seeds. Probably with a little paring knife, to be honest, would be easier. And you discard the seeds and you cut it without the seeds, because the seeds are actually the hottest part of a chili. And then we're just going to cut it into really, really, really little pieces there. And of course we know that different chilies are different heats, so yeah, up to you which ones you choose. I've got some nice green ones in the garden. And I'm going to put that in with everything else. Okay, and now, so you've got 1.5 small cucumbers, a handful of cashew nuts, and now we're going to put the coconut shred in. That's probably about a cup there, but I'm going to put half in. Now, as I said, I would rather this be long bits of coconut or fresh coconut, but some people do use coconut milk, and then I'm going to mix that around. There. Now, the next bit, we're going to do the banana flour. I'm going to wash my hands. Top tip, don't touch your face if you've touched chili, but we shouldn't be touching our faces anyway. So the banana flour is actually, as I said, it's actually really good for you. It's high in vitamin A, vitamin D, potassium like bananas themselves, and also it's got a bit of protein in, and it's an antioxidant. Now, I was just asked, if you don't have bananas yourself, where can you get them? Well, they're actually sold usually at markets like Rapid Creek Market and also out at Coolalinga, but right now those markets aren't happening as regularly as they were. But lots of people in Darwin and surrounds have bananas, and they don't know how to cook banana flours, or they think it's a bit tricky and they just throw it away. So if you want banana flours, I reckon eye off your neighbours or people nearby and go and ask them, because people will give them away. All right, so now I'm going to squeeze the banana flour. So we've actually had it soaking in there at least 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. You can soak it for longer if you like, but I'm going to squeeze out the water and then put it in the bowl. All the bits. Okay, that's more. I think we've got all the bits there, so it's in there. Now what I do first of all is I'm going to get my lime. You could put rice vinegar or something that's got that tangy sour flavour in, and I'm going to squeeze that over without the pips. So sometimes I just squeeze it through my fingers, and then you can catch the pips, and you don't really need a squeezer. The less equipment you need for things, the better really. Okay, and now I'm going to put a little bit of Australian peanut oil in. You could use sesame oil, but it's got a strong flavour, but just a little bit. So it's a bit like the dressing, but we're just making it in the bowl. And now I'm going to add in everything else. So that's the coconut, cucumber, chili, and nuts, all those textures in together. And a little bit more salt, a pinch of salt. And just a little touch more oil. And I'm just gonna, with very clean hands, I'm going to mix that together in the bowl. Okay, and then now last of all we're going to put on the put in the herbs and a little bit of salad onion. If you want, there are lots of variations on the recipe, but you could put fish sauce in, but I've made it vegetarian, so I just used a bit of salt. In Thailand you can actually use fungus, or you can put cooked seafood or chicken through it if you eat meat. I don't really eat meat, so I've just left it veggie at this stage. Now I'm going to mix those in too. Okay, so that's all mixed through. Now it's really nice, probably better with a bigger one, but to keep the outsides of the banana flour, and you can actually use it to display your salad and it looks really great. So I'm just going to use my hands, not touching my face or anyone else, so it's okay, but you could use a spoon and just pop it in there, like coming out of the banana flour like that. It looks really spunky. Like, these flowers are beautiful. I really love them. Nature's quite amazing. And you can imagine that would be a little bit more impressive if it's a bigger flower. And I'm just popping a little bit more herbs on top there. And if you wanted and had extra chili, you could put that on top because it's got a nice kind of red look. I've got another one we can do that, but depends how hot you want it. And that's it.